Hey guys, before we start talking today about why the Packers are legit Super Bowl contenders, I just want to give a shout out to my friend Ben. He gave me the idea to do this video, so if any of you guys have any ideas on any videos you want to see, just reach out and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the middle of January, and I'm currently coming out with daily content. So if you're interested in more NFL content, hit that watermark in that bottom right corner of today's video. And with that said, let's dive right into the video, and I hope you enjoy. So the big stat that really got this idea going was that they're 2-2 against quality teams this season, and that does not include their games against the Bears, who are a potential playoff team. So they've lost to the Bucs this year, and they lost to the Colts this year, but they beat the Titans and the Saints. So they're 2-2 against quality teams, quality playoff contenders, and I'd count the Colts in that, even if they don't end up making the playoffs. So they had the easiest strength of schedule out of any team in the NFL this season, and that's definitely something that will pose questions about if they're real contenders. I mean, yes, this team might end up being the first seed in the NFC this playoff season, but I mean, they had the easiest strength of schedule. I mean, is this a legit NFL team? I mean, are they going to be able to make a Super Bowl run? And here is why I think so. So on offense, they rank number 3 in yards per game, number 9 in passing yards, number 8 in rushing yards, and they rank number 1 in points per game. Those stats don't happen by accident. Yes, they play some good teams. They didn't play a lot of great teams this season, but I mean, they're playing in the NFL, right? And everyone in the NFL has talent, so you're going to have to be good each week, week in and week out. And the stats prove it. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, his experience mixed with his MVP play is why this team is going to be so dangerous in the playoffs. I mean, obviously, he has been to the playoffs throughout his entire career. He's won a Super Bowl before. He has the playoff experience and the leadership qualities. And then you mix that with the MVP play that we've seen this season. I mean, not only does he have a high PFF player grade with a 94.5 PFF player grade, but he's thrown for over 4,000 yards on 70.3% completion and 44 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And after Patrick Mahomes' rough week last week, I think he should be the favorite to win the MVP, especially with his big performance on Sunday Night Football last week against the Titans, who are a very good team. And it all starts with Rodgers. I mean, his ability to find his targets and the big seasons that Davante Adams are having, Aaron Jones is having, Robert Tonyan is having. Those guys have excelled. Even Marquez Valdes-Scantling, too. Those guys have excelled because of Aaron Rodgers' ability on the football field. He has been absolutely fantastic this season. And I mean, if you just look at what Aaron Jones in the ground game has been able to do, which is a staple of this Matt LaFleur offense, I mean, even though Jones does not have the 16 touchdowns that he had a season ago, he still put up over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns on a 78.9 PFF player rate. So good season by him. And that running attack has allowed for this Packers offense to be elite all year. And then, of course, you add in the Davante Adams effect. I mean, this guy has been fantastic. He should be the offensive player of the year. I mean, there's Derrick Henry in that conversation, and there's definitely Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill in that conversation. But I think Davante Adams, with the effect he's had, especially in only 13 games this season, is absolutely phenomenal. 109 receptions, 1,328 receiving yards, 17 touchdowns in 13 games. Are you kidding me? And a 92.3 PFF player grade. I mean, this guy has been on a tear, and no one's been able to stop him. I mean, he can do it all. He has the yards after the catch ability. He's got the high point ability. He's got the red zone threat ability. I mean, he is all over the place, and he is an absolute baller for this Packers team. I mean, he averages over a touchdown a game. That's the only stat I have to tell you. He's been absolutely fantastic for this Packers team all year, and he's definitely been helping out fantasy teams, but fantasy is not why the Packers are going to be able to make a Super Bowl run. Also, Robert Tonyan, another great guy, another great tight end. He got snubbed from the Pro Bowl. Should have been a Pro Bowler. 50 catches, 568 yards on the year, and 10 touchdowns, and a 67.4 PFF player grade. Those are the offensive weapons. There's also Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who's had some good games this year. Allen Lazard was on a nice little run of games earlier in the year, then he got injured. But this offense has the tools. I mean, they've got Davante Adams. They've got Robert Tonyan, who's really the first tight end that's been really successful in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has not really utilized the tight end position all that much throughout his career, but Tonyan has found success. And then with Aaron Jones in the backfield, and even A.J. Dillon, too, who showed what he could do on Sunday night against the Titans, rushing for 2 touchdowns and a ton of yards, too. So, I mean, this offense is elite, and it's because of Aaron Rodgers' leadership and his MVP play. And don't forget about this defense. This defense is fantastic, definitely above average. They might not be elite, but they're borderline elite. They can harass offenses with their pressure and good coverage. And I'm going to start with their stats. They're 7 in total defense, that's just yards, and they're 7 in pass defense and 14th in run defense. They're also 15th in points per game. So they're above average in all the major categories, and this defense is good enough to complement this offense. When you're talking about complementary football, you're talking about the offense complementing the defense complementing the offense. This is a run-heavy team. This is a run-first team with an offensive mentality that's able to throw the ball very well. They're great at throwing the football downfield, and they have the defense to complement that. I mean, Za'Darius Smith, if you've seen what he's been able to do, this guy's had a very, very good season under the radar, too. I mean, he was fantastic last year, also with Preston Smith, too. The Smith brothers are fantastic. They've combined for over 15 sacks this year, with Za'Darius Smith having 12.5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles with a 77.3 PFF player grade, which is very high for an edge rusher, and he's been the main guy on that Packers defensive line. All the other guys have 5, 4, 3 sacks. All the other big guys on that defensive line have been able to be efficient and get to the quarterback too. And it's been a real team effort. That's something that you really want to see. I mean, this defense has 40 total sacks on the year, which ranks 9th in the NFL, which is definitely something that you want to see. I mean, all the major stats, they're in the top 10. And they're definitely above average in all those stats. So this is a defense that is quality. Also, I mean, their secondary is very good too. Definitely one of the better secondaries in the NFL, with Darnell Savage, who's been absolutely fantastic this year with 4 interceptions and a 75.7 PFF player grade, and Jaire Alexander, who's been arguably the NFL's best corner behind guys like Xavier Howard and J.C. Jackson, and especially Jaire Alexander too. I mean, this guy has an 88.1 PFF player grade and has 1 interception on the season. Because he doesn't have those high interception totals, he's not getting the love or the credit that he deserves, but this guy is having a legit shutdown, lockdown season. I mean, he's in the conversation with guys like Xavier Howard and Marlon Humphrey and Jalen Ramsey for the best corners in the NFL. I might just be putting Xavier Howard in that conversation because I'm a Dolphins fan, but I think he legitimately deserves to be in that conversation. But I mean, Jaire Alexander has been fantastic. He's been shut down, lockdown. He's been really good all season. And especially, I mean, if the Packers beat the Bears on Sunday, then they can clinch the first seed in the NFC, which is absolutely huge. And that means that the NFC would run through Green Bay. And nobody's coming to Green Bay in January and beating them. I mean, if you look at the teams in the NFC that are going to make the playoffs, you're going to see the Seahawks, you're going to see the Saints, you're going to see probably Washington or maybe the Giants or the Cowboys. None of those teams are beating the Packers in Green Bay. Maybe the Seahawks have a chance to do that, but we saw what happened last time the Seahawks came to Green Bay in a playoff game. That didn't really go well for Seattle. And then if you look at the other teams, I mean, the Tampa Bay Bucks, Tom Brady, they probably have a shot to beat the Packers. I mean, they're a team that has very good defense, very good offense. But I just think that the ability for Aaron Rodgers and this defense to play really well is something that's just so exciting. I just don't think anybody's going to be able to beat Green Bay in January when it comes to playoff football. No team in the NFC runs the football better than the Packers, arguably. And I think that also on the defensive side of the football too, I mean, Kenny Clark too, great run stuffer. So they're able to stop the run. They're able to get to the quarterback, pick off passes on the defensive side of the football. Then on the offensive side of the football, they lead the league in points per game. I mean, they've been averaging over 30 points per game. And anytime you're averaging over 30 points per game, you're an elite offensive team. I don't care who you're playing. So this 2-2 record against quality teams that doesn't include the Bears, I mean, that's complete bogus. It doesn't matter. This Packers team has the skill, the leadership, the quality on offense and on defense with good players. They're well coached. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Of course they're a Super Bowl contender. This team, in my eyes, has the money to come out of the NFC. I think they're going to be the NFC winners. I don't care about the Saints. I don't care about the Bucs. I don't care about the Seahawks. This is a fun team to watch. This is a team that is going to be in the Super Bowl when it comes time to February. I think that they have the talent on offense, they have the talent on defense, they're able to run the football, they're great at play action, great at throwing the ball downfield, they've got playmakers everywhere, and no other team in the NFC has it. I think they match up well against the Saints, they match up well against the Seahawks, they match up well against the Bucs, and I think those are the real contenders when it comes to the other teams in the NFC. And I think that when it comes time to playing a cold weather game in Green Bay, nobody's going to be better at it than the Green Bay Packers. So because I believe that the Packers are going to be able to beat the Bears on Sunday, they're going to have the first seed, they're going to have the bye, they're going to be well rested, and it's really going to come down to that divisional round. I mean, can they win the divisional round? If they can win the divisional round, they're going to win the conference championship game because, I mean, sometimes you see the first seeds or teams coming off a bye lose in the divisional round, but I think the Packers, I mean, they've got experience, leadership, and they're just well coached. So at the end of the day, I think because of Aaron Rodgers' MVP season and what he's been able to do this season, I think this Packers team, it'd be crazy for me not to think that they weren't going to the Super Bowl. I mean, in my mind, they're my favorites to come out of the to the NFC. And yeah, if they end up playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I don't know if they're going to be able to beat the Chiefs. Sure, injuries can happen, but if everything is able to be healthy and everyone's able to stay healthy, this team is making it to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. So with that said, Packers fans, get excited because I think this Packers team has a legit shot at being Super Bowl contenders. And that's going to end the video for today. Before you leave, please drop a like and a sub. That would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate it. I'm currently posting 3 videos a week. So if you're interested in more football content for the remainder of the season, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see ya.